So to Greg's point, Mike 3883 asking about if the Big Ten doesn't get any other Pac-12 schools or Notre Dame, would USC and UCLA back out? No, they're not backing out. So
No,
the
they already
USC, no, to Greg's point, USC and UCLA, the Pac-12 was distributing like $33 million per school for football. In the Big Ten, it's way over double that. And now with the addition of these two, they're projecting it's going to be over $100 million per. It's like in the Pac-12 is at like 30 million, and they estimate that the Pac-12 contract's going to like reduce down to like 27, 28 million without USC and UCLA. So it's no, they're not backing out just because they're the only two from the West Coast.
And you know what? If anybody thinks the Big Ten are dummies, look at the markets that they're going to control now. They're going to control the New York market and the Los Angeles market, and then everything, and the Chicago market, everything in between. The footprint there for the Big Ten is no joke by adding West Coast teams right now. So this is it's been inevitable, really. And I think right now USC and UCLA are probably kicking themselves for not doing this at least a year ago. After Oklahoma and Texas announced that they were going to the SEC, and the funniest thing about the whole thing is that USC and UCLA can join the Big Ten before Texas and Oklahoma can join the SEC.
Yeah. The other thing in this, in regards to Nebraska, whether Nebraska should care one way or the other, I would think that Nebraska is going to have more success if they take advantage of it, going to California now and recruiting.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's a huge boost in recruiting there, because all of a sudden now you're guaranteed to go play some games against your friends and family out there and stuff. And yeah, I definitely think it's a huge boost for recruiting wise. Nebraska's always been a nationwide school that has to recruit, but I think under Coach Frost's staff, the one state that's lacked has been California in the whole scenario. So I think that would be a huge, huge pickup for Nebraska to be able to start recruiting Southern California again. Because I've stated many times, I love going out to Southern California, Northern California. I would live out there if I could, seriously. A little too expensive for my taste, but I never do pass up a chance going out there. And I in my 20 plus years in the business have covered a lot of high school football out in the state of California, and it's always one of my favorite trips, always to do when I get an opportunity to do it. Stomping around all those USC practice fields and everything, the meeting Pete Carroll and stuff were some highlights that, I love going to USC. I mean, such a great place to visit and work camps and stuff.
Lewis, I love you. You support all the time here, but I got to correct you on this. Big Ten has 7 of the top 8 TV markets. Okay, New York, yes. LA, yes. Chicago, yes. Philadelphia, not going to consider that a Big Ten market.
No.
It's hours away from Penn State. It's not a Big Ten market. Dallas, Fort Worth, not a Big Ten market. San Francisco, San Jose, not a Big Ten market. Atlanta, not a Big Ten market. Houston, not a Big Ten market. Those are the top 8 according to Nielsen 2021 DMA rankings. So, not quite.
But when you're talking about the footprint and the market,
oh sure,
you got to think about all those other
Cleveland, Detroit, Minneapolis,
Columbus, Ohio is
sure.
Most people don't understand how big Columbus, Ohio is.
Yeah.
It's the biggest city in Ohio. And you know what? Ohio State is there. And then you have to include Cleveland and Cincinnati in there. So look at the market. Look at the look at the market as a whole. It covers a much bigger footprint across the nation than the SEC does, obviously. So
I did some TV research the other night looking at all these Pac-12 candidates, and let this sink in. And it's not even close. More people watched the Ohio State-Michigan game than watched the entire Washington Huskies season, Utah, Colorado, almost every team in the Pac-12, their entire season.
Yeah.
The other thing that makes Columbus attractive for the Big Ten.
You got Michigan too. Detroit is there too.
Sure.
Look at all these cities that are in the Big Ten.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Yeah, we forget about Wisconsin here too. There's people that live in Milwaukee as well. So yeah, this is You see where we're getting.
The other thing that makes Columbus attractive is it's not like it's one of the biggest cities in America, but it's one of the biggest cities in America without an NFL team.
Yeah. I'd been there. I'd probably been there 4 or 5 times before I actually realized it was the biggest city in Ohio. This is after being to Cleveland and Cincinnati many times too, that somebody actually had to point out to me.
Cleveland's a bigger TV market, but yes, Columbus is a bigger city than Cleveland.
Population-wise, yes.
Yeah. The Cleveland DMA, the metro market is bigger, but the city of Columbus is the biggest city in Ohio.
It's because they have pro football and pro baseball, pro basketball.